everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel today. In this video, we're going to be putting together these really cute circular pop-up cards. You guys have all fallen in love with the darling hexagon pop-up cards that I have been designing, and I have set out to create some new shapes and variety for you. In this video, we'll be putting together the circle version. Let me show you how that works. It's just like the other hexagons where it folds flat for mailing, and then you can pop it up and into shape for a display. It's 3D form. So I've added some little clips to the sides, you'll notice, to help hold it in that circle shape. The nature of that doesn't want to stay in position unless we have some sort of clips holding it in place down there. So I'm going to show you how to put these together. They're really fun. They assemble very similarly, but a little bit different. So I'm just going to move everything off to the side here, and I'm going to show you actually how to put both of these together. One that looks like a face, we're going to do a cat face in this video, and we also have another basket variation with a little chick in it. So let's get started. First we'll go ahead and work on the little face variety. This one has a base that looks like this and a wrap that is a print and cut. So you'll want to complete that print and cut piece. It's just one piece that looks like this. You could fit several on a page on Cricut or Silhouette, whatever cutting machine you're using. And this little piece right here is just a guide for gluing. So you're not actually going to incorporate this into your project. You could just cut one of these. If you're making several, you don't need to cut one for every single project. It's just a gluing guide, and I'll show you how that works here in just a minute. So let's go ahead and get started with our card base. We have one little insert on the kitty cat that just has a base gray piece, and then the ears and a bow and the little stripes up here at the top. So I've gone ahead and put that part together, and I've gone ahead and done the print and cut piece. So to fold the main card base, you can see we have these little clips here, and they're attached here in the middle, and you're just going to fold that right in half. And similarly to my hexagon card, we're just going to glue through this middle section right here back to back. So in order to see that section, I kind of like to take these pieces and fold them forward and out of the way so I can see exactly what shape I'm gluing together. You might even want to do that for this other side as well. So just this section with the tabs is the area we're going to glue. So I'm just going to put some adhesive on that section, and I'm going to include those little tabs because I want them to stick together really well back to back. My glue bottle's just a little slow on the flow there. And we're just going to fold that right in half and line everything up perfectly. And then just give that a good press. Make sure that gets a chance to dry. While that's drying, you can go ahead and fold over these other tabs here. Fold everything towards the middle. So we're going to fold up to form the side of our card. Just like that. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, and in this variation we only have one slit across the top for the ears to come through. So we're just going to glue the little ear piece right in the middle. You need to decide which side's the front. Doesn't really matter. You can go either direction. But you'll just pull that tab all the way down and through, and then go ahead and put some glue under there and glue that down. Just make sure it's pulled nice and flat so that the ears are flat across the top here. Okay, and that is the top of our card. The bunny ears obviously stick up quite a bit farther than the kitty cat. But now we can go ahead and close off those two sides. So I'm just going to pull this down, and we're just going to put a little adhesive here on this glue tab. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so now we're ready to glue the band on the front of our card, and you need to make sure your ears are oriented on the top side, and we're going to glue this to the front. So I'm going to use this little guide for gluing. So I'm going to flip this around and I'm going to use this in this orientation. So just make sure as you're doing this, I like to just hang on to the card front, make sure my face is in the right place, and then turn it around. And then I'm going to actually flip it over. Hopefully that's not too confusing, but then I can use this little guide for my gluing. And I'm just going to kind of set everything there. I know that's the piece I need to glue to this side, so don't change the orientation of that piece. But I'm just going to take this guide, and I'm actually going to grab one that's a different color so you can see it better in this video. I've got a white one here. Hopefully you'll be able to see that better. And I'm going to just center it in this section, and then I'm going to take this edge here that's flat and just line it up right at the edge of the bottom. You might want to even see just a tiny bit of the table because we want this to glue right to the bottom edge of the card. So you can see if I glue that right where that guide is showing me, this is going to be in the perfect position, and then we'll just close it to glue the other side. Okay, so I'm going to put some adhesive on this section right here and then flip it back over. This is probably the most complicated part of this card, is just making sure you get that in the right position. You could even use a little washi tape to hold this down if you're having trouble holding it all together as you're working. That would work really well as well. Okay, so now that that is glued down, I can remove my guide and I can double check my face is in the right place. And again, I'm just gonna, okay, from this position, if I close it like this, I'll be able to just close it and it'll be perfect. So let's just, if you did it in the other orientation down this direction, you would want to push it through and get these tabs down at the bottom before gluing that last piece. That way you don't have to push those tabs through where it gets kind of tight. Okay, once that's glued, you just have this one little glue tab here on the side. I'm going to fold that over and put some adhesive on that tab and then just push that down, making sure to center everything. Okay, once everything's nice and dry, you can go ahead and open up that card. Just pull those sides in and push those little side slits into position. And there you have your little kitty cat card. Isn't that cute? So we've got our bunny and our cat. And now let's move on to do our basket. So now we're going to put together the cute little basket. Basically, it's going to be the same as this one, other than we have a chick in the back instead of the chocolate bunny. So again, this whole assembly is going to be like our little faces that we just worked on. But I thought it'd be good to go through another variation of this. This one has 3 tabs instead of just the one center tab. So I'm going to set all these pieces aside. I've gone ahead and we've just cut all of the pieces and layered them up. We've got all the little eggs you layer across this base piece and then put the grass in front. And on this piece, same thing, you've got some eggs, but you've got your little chick to put together, which has eyes that cut through to a black piece. So that's easy to put those eyes in place. You don't have to actually glue them, they're already there. And then we have the little beak and the egg and then the little feet. And we have just this cute little bow that's 3 pieces layered up here, and just glue that in the top of the handle or somewhere else if you'd rather position that somewhere else. I'll set those off to the side and we'll go ahead and put our card base together. So we're just going to fold that over in the middle, and then we're just going to fold on these score lines towards the center. And we're just going to glue this center section together. line everything up just so, and give it a good press. And then, of course, before you glue these tabs together, we want to put our inserts in. It gets really hard to glue those in if you glue those that side tab together. So let's get the top of our card ready. I like to just give everything a nice press so that it folds and lays nice and flat. And then we have our inserts. Our middle insert, I like to put it in first because it's just gluing to the middle of the card. It's easier to get to that if you'll just do that one first. So we'll push that handle all the way in. And we'll lift it up and put some adhesive under there. And we have layer number 1 that's going to go in front. And then just push that all the way down. I'm going to pull this tab backwards so I can get into this little glue tab. Glue number tab 1 in, and then we're going to put in our number 3 tab. I like to put that in forward facing so I can make sure it's all positioned correctly. And then we're just going to pull all that down and get under here to glue this last number 3 tab in place. Now we're ready to glue this side tab. And we'll do the other side as well. And that completes our basic card base. And now we just have to get that side band in place. And again, since it's a circle, we've got to be careful about how we glue that together. So go ahead and take your band and fold it in half. And the glue tab on the side and fold it over. And then we've got to get it positioned in the center again. So we're going to use our little guide for placement. So in this case, I'm going to just open this up and push everything down. But before I glue the second side, I'm going to rotate it so that the bands on the bottom, or the clips are down on the bottom. But for this one, since I have all of this stuff up here, I'm going to just glue it in this position rather than try and push it all up and glue it behind all of that. So pushing it down in this position. Let's get our shim put in place. So you can see how I do that. Just kind of center it on this side and then just pull that side up till it just matches right along the edge at the bottom, making sure it's nice and straight on the sides. And then in this case, I'm going to actually show you how to use the washi tape because it's actually kind of helpful. It's kind of hard to hold all that in the perfect position and then grab that piece and glue it. Okay, and then just make sure you push that all the way down in there until it's flat across the bottom. And then rather than just closing this and gluing it right now, because then you're gonna have these little tabs to push through the sides and it's kind of tight and I don't want you to bend those. We're gonna go ahead and take our washi tape off and we're gonna push the card down before we glue that second side. So let's push the entire card into this other position. So once you push all of that down in this position, we just need to put some adhesive on this little center tab and on this side tab as well. I'm just going to go ahead and do that so I can push down and glue it all in one motion. So I've got glue on the side tab, I've got glue in the middle here. I'm just going to go ahead and close that up and push everything down nice and flat and let that dry before I try opening this card up. Once your glue has dried, you can go ahead and push those sides in and push the little tabs into the slots, and that is your completed card. Look how cute that is. So I hope you enjoy making these fun little circular pop-up cards. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave me a message here on YouTube. I'd love to see what you're creating. Be sure to tag us with hashtag Lori Whitlock on all your social media. And I hope you enjoy making these, and I will see you in another video. Bye-bye.